Welcome to another edition of Before You Weekend. This is Before You Weekend 7. Calvin.
What it is, what it do, what's happening. That's so dope, actually. Episode 7. We're moving.
We're moving.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for the support. We didn't know you guys are going to like it that much.
Yeah, I think just the energy and the responses and the feedback, the interactions are dope. I get like little interactions on social media, which are dope. But like people like comment like in full, like, yo. I think the last one I read was like, on one of the topics, the AI topic we spoke about. And someone was like, I just wrote a whole thing about it like yesterday.
Oh, stop.
And they're talking about like how AI should be developed for Africa or just where African problems are and how AI can help that.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually a conversation.
It's a serious one.
Yeah.
Is it a friend or is it a foe?
That's where everybody is right now.
It's kind of both though, right?
Figure it out.
Progress is always an enemy and a foe. Depends on who's controlling it.
That's true. That's definitely true.
Yeah. How's your week been?
My week has been tense, but good. I'm trying to wrap up things for this week, obviously because I'm out again next week. But it's been good.
So you've been living on your phone, basically?
And laptop. Yes.
So you that guy who got married, was that you? And the guy got married while he was on his phone? Did you see that?
What is that? Like,
It's got married. It's a video making rounds on Twitter. Yeah. Got married and he's holding his phone with the wife.
The wife. What is he on a Zoom call?
No, we don't know what it is. He's just typing. Like, what are you doing on that day? And the wife is just, she looks happy.
Nonchalant.
Like,
yeah.
Why you not?
Hey, man, I'm married to the game, man.
You know what I think happened? And I want to know from you guys. What do you think happened? What was he doing? Because I think the obvious thing or the funny thing everyone's going to assume is he's talking to his other bitches. No. Yeah. I feel like he was probably paying the videographer because he said, if you don't pay me, I'm deleting all of this.
He's
like, oh, no, I need to delete this.
That's a real thing. And we've been in crazy situations like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yo, man, Lord knows. That's funny. I don't know. No, my thing is I can switch. I can be like, yo, okay, forget this and we need to do.
Yeah.
I've had to learn the discipline.
Yeah.
But
at a wedding though, imagine.
That's bad. That's bad. Like I always said, like at my wedding, I don't want to deal with nothing else.
Yeah.
It's one of those, dude. Like it's one of those like you gotta be present, right? I think regardless of what's happening, what you're dealing with, what happened before that, obviously in context, of course. But I don't want to deal with nothing else. I don't want to deal with like the late uncle, the uncle, Mamang's late. We've got to wait. We're not waiting. If we've got to start, we've got to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you got to respect the time of everybody else who's also there.
Yeah.
Type of thing. I always say that. Like,
one, okay, let me say two things. One, I feel like he also could have been texting his girlfriend who lives in another province. He said, I'm just quickly getting married. I'll be back soon.
I remember.
His marriage, these weddings
like a long weekend situation.
I'll be back.
Going on holiday and then dude came back married. I think I tweeted that the last long weekend. I was like, check on your people. You might come back and they gone.
But then the second thing I wanted to share was I'm losing my train of thought because there's something you said. Oh, you have to be present in the moment.
Yeah, you have to be present for sure.
Just know for my wedding, there's going to be like 40 of you who are allowed to come in and production. It's going to be production.
It's got to be.
You're going to feel like it's a musical. Like
I can run the production, TK. You got me?
The pastor's intro must feel like this is WWE for a second. Like, what is going on? Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is...
Confetti and everything. Yeah, no, I think that's our chat. Like with us, it's like myself, UMZ. It's like we see a lot of things, but it's like the production, like the images, the visuals, like because that's like our whole thing. And I'm like, no. The crazy thing is, I said this. Mzee and I were into a wedding, probably like last month or something like that. And I was like, what's crazy is that all the people that I would get to do certain things now must be my guests. Because they're all my friends so close, right? Like, I'd have you do visuals. I'd have MZ MC, right? I'd have, like, photographer-wise, okay, you'd do video. Photographer-wise, I have so many options. That's the thing. And they're all friends.
Yeah.
So now who's guest now? Food wise, my friends are chefs.
Yeah.
Planning wise, my friends.
So when are they going to be in the wedding?
Exactly. So now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need all these people to coordinate the people that are gonna do it.
Now you're going to do like behind the scenes interviews. So what was your favorite part of the wedding? Where I cooked food. I was by the pot watching them. It was nice.
Yeah. So no, I was like, I need you guys to coordinate the people that we pay to do the things.
I get that.
Otherwise, the standard, guys.
I
The
get that.
standard.
Are you hearing about this, the fake pilot scammer?
Yeah, I saw that. I think yesterday.
Okay, so for context.
Listen. That's an easy play.
This kind of frustrates me because I feel like there's more stupidity than intelligence in this.
In that story. And I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Okay, so this fake pilot cons women into thinking that he's in love with them, and he like over weeks. So it's not a day thing. So he does it pretty well. It's
Tinder swindler.
So yes, thank you. So he's consistent in like this engagement with this person, and he says, "I want your address, I want your number, and all this stuff, so I can send you a gift." The gift on the photo looks like it has $15,000, so 300,000 rand. Of course, if you're on the receiving end, you're gonna, oh my word, I'm getting 300,000 rand.
Yeah.
Cool, fine. You give him all the he gets all the ladies' details,
Dress, everything.
and then he says the money is when it lands. The money is in customs. We need to pay 5,000 to get it out. Just send me 5,000, and you'll get your money.
Yeah. So customs is asking for 5,000.
Yes.
To get your package to you,
Yeah.
and you send the 5,000. Then he goes,
I need
"Hey,
another.
customs said 2.5." And then he's hitting you out 10 grand clean.
At my issue is, at what point do you go,
Man, you said how many dollars in there and a weave? And a what? And an iPhone 14 Max Pro.
this is, if you're a pilot, if the guy says he's a pilot,
Yeah.
you should be going, you're a pilot. You work in the airport. You know every avenue.
I'm sure
Why is this
I'm sure you can call a friend.
Oh my word.
Yeah, no.
Actually, they probably never had friends.
Mm.
Because imagine a girl explaining that to their group of friends, they're not gonna go, oh, that sounds good.
There's no sense. Actually, now that you mention it,
Your friends are gonna go, that's something's off.
even like in the Tinder swindler chat, like they never consult their friends.
Yes.
Well, I didn't hear that part unless there was a part where somebody spoke to them, but they never consulted their friends.
Ever. If I said that to you, listen, here, meet
Yeah.
this girl.
Nah.
She said, you're gonna call me out.
I'm saying nah, bruh.
So,
There's no way.
like, how? At what month do you go? I've sent about 15K for this. 20K.
I think the comments, that's all the comments were just like, yo, I hear your chats about being scammed, but these women also. I think that was also a response on Tinder swindler as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for you to feel sorry for them when it's like, guys, are you kidding me? You know? So, but at the same time, like, it's easy.
But I think as South Africans specifically, I think is it Bushiri who said in some radio interview many years ago, one of those pastors said, Africans look for wisdom. South Africans look for miracles.
Hectic.
And that made sense. Because we're a desperate country. We live on handouts.
Do you think, you think that's because of like our economy, livelihood, type of how we living? And I think we actually spoke on this even like when we spoke about the culture of like, what is it, the slave queen culture and the blessers culture. We mentioned in one of the episodes that's become like a whole thing, but that's as a result of, right? So I think it kind of speaks to the same thing, that you're looking for something to just happen.
Yeah.
And not necessarily, you can even say wisdom or you can even say like knowledge.
Yeah.
Not looking for that.
Yeah.
You know, you're not looking to be told anything. You're looking to be given.
But I mean, that's how the game is set up, right? Like you make money off someone else's impulse. And if you can't tap into that, there's no sale.
Yeah.
It's a tricky dynamic system.
Very tricky. Very tricky. Yeah, no. The pilot, he's on one. I mean, like, I was just like, it's a basic. I was reading one of the messages, and I was like, he had all the right elements for any woman to just be like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unlike, guys like, we had the F1 this weekend. We had the F1 this weekend. I'm a big F1 fan, guys. Big
Yeah, it's
F1.
only him, yeah. I can
Guys,
drive.
it's an elite sport and it's amazing. It really is. When you get into it. You've never got into it.
I tried. My brother used to watch it.
You don't know the rules. You don't know how it works.
I played Le Mans and F1 on PlayStation.
Not the same things, TK. But anyway, we had the F1 this weekend. Lewis Hamilton got P2, came second.
Does P2 mean second place?
Yes, position 2.
You guys call second place P2.
Yes, position 2.
Why can't it just be called second place?
Come on.
Oh
TK,
my word.
TK. Why in golf they call it a birdie? Why do they call it?
Because you're a shot ahead of par.
What's par? Why can't you just say you're shot ahead of 1 point? Why can't you just say 1 point? Come on, TK. Why?
No, guys. We're complicating things. But anyway.
I think golf is more complicated. But anyway, so he gets P2 and he goes and celebrates, and guess who he's out with? Shakira. Right? And this after, like, Shakira hasn't been seen.
Didn't she just divorce someone and move the house?
Exactly, my brother. No, Lewis Hamilton is hectic. He's got like an elite catalog of like women he's dated. Like it fits him. Like, when you like, it makes sense. Like, it's not so and so up and coming hype.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, Jordan Naomi Campbell? What?
Do you think Shakira said that's the black I like? but anyway,
the problem is I never expect it. I never see it coming.
How do you feel about the F1 thing not happening in South Africa because of relations with Russia?
Yo, I think it's it's really just a big disappointment to us as fans. And SA has got kind of like a large pool of fans, actually. I think it would have made for a great. It sits well in the schedule. It does. But I was just like, yo, you guys are complaining about the whole Russia thing, and you're not saying anything about Saudi. Saudi Arabia is still on the calendar.
Yep.
We're not talking about that. Okay, cool. So, it's sad, but there's nothing. The F1 gods have spoken.
Do you guys think we would have made money from that? Because we did that. We tried the FIFA World Cup, and they say we broke even, or it was a loss, but we didn't profit.
FIFA, the way it's structured, the World Cup, the way it's structured, is not structured for people like the country doesn't make money from it. Literally, the entities that are involved in the deal and FIFA itself as an entity, they make money. But as a country, it doesn't. It looks like it contributes a lot to the economy, but it actually doesn't. Not the way it should theoretically. So, F1. Do I think we would have? I don't think so. It's like when not Wimbledon, excuse me. When they had, it's an exhibition. Let's use that term. It's really just an exhibition, and only like a handful of individuals make money off it. If you're part of the community and the circle, that's why I said. I think for the community, but for the greater scheme of things, it's nothing to really cry about.
It's an interesting interesting industry. And I was thinking about this during the week. Like, shout out to the person who thought of creating an industry out of sports, because it all started with kids playing games. Someone thought, I can multiply this.
Interesting.
Let's bet. Probably fathers are sitting. Let's bet which kid is better. And then they just saw there's something here. Like, how do you think of starting a league and figure out the math on this is how you're gonna play this amount of games?
I went from
That's
like the leagues in school to like having leagues that are funded for privately. And now kids in school are battling to make it to this league that you created, and where you would kind of determine who's the best type of thing. Yeah, I think it's brilliant as well. That's why I think like when you go into like NBA and like NFL, it's really incredible what they created. Yeah. And now for us, for you to replicate that years later, it takes so much time. But like we just lack the patience, because like you trying to get like whatever league to be as big as La Liga or whatever, you know, that takes time. That takes years. You know?
I feel like it was whoever invented the idea of starting a league, like they didn't expect it to be as big as it is.
Yeah, they probably didn't benefit from it either, like at all.
Yeah.
At all, because like you came up with that concept just for competitive vibes, or you thought this would be fun or whatever the case is. But I don't think they benefited from it because only later, when you actually start bringing out the kinks out of it and like sharpening it, and like okay, actually we could do it. Then you give it direction.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, the person who created that probably didn't even benefit from it, but that's a brilliant idea. It was the competitiveness.
But speaking on the idea of impacting a whole industry or developing an industry, I was reading up on where the 40-hour work week thing came from. And it's interesting because when you read the history, before the 40-hour work week, people were working, I think they said 60 to 80 hours a week.
Okay.
So you're working probably like 10 to 12 to 14 hours a day. And unions started forming and they said, no, we need less work hours. Henry Ford, who owned the Ford company, whatever the company was called, he said, fine, you guys can work 40 hours. Because his idea was, I need them to have free time so they can buy my car and actually use the car.
Yes.
My own people aren't driving
the
Fords.
cars. Yes. It was a consumer
nigga
thing.
is
I
smart.
think I've read that somewhere. Yeah, it's a consumer thing. Because like we need the people that we're paying to go back and buy the products that we're having them develop or make or sell or whatever the case is.
Such a freaking smart move.
Capitalism at its best. Literally. Like, at its best.
But also at the same time, I feel like I want to Google things white people have messed up. Because like, you guys are like, they're so strategic. Like these historical people are like, wow. And I probably believe, yes, Africa's probably inspired somehow.
Of course.
For them to move the way they're moving. But like that took me down the rabbit hole when I was reading about the Ford thing. The next thing was the Titanic. The guy who owned the Titanic owned 2 of those. There's a ship before that. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah. I think I heard that too.
The rumor is he swapped the names of the ship because one was older. So he wanted to... So the crash wasn't necessarily accidental. It was part of the plan so he can claim insurance and he can buy another one. Bruh.
That's hectic.
Like, why do you get... It's like become a problem, but also become the cure.
But I mean, insurance fraud, like that whole theory, I've only gotten it from white people only. Like they know their way around it. Even the black guys that have told me about it, that's where they found out the information.
Yeah.
Like in different industries. Like, no, the guy said if you do this and this and this and this, it works out like this. I'm like, what?
But isn't that how insurance is sold to you? Yeah, just sign because if we will cover this and this and this and this, and in your head you're going, yeah, I need that. Yeah, I really need that. And then you get screwed in the back end when life does happen.
They literally intentionally do that stuff, which is so crazy, and it's more common practice than we think.
Yeah,
for them to do stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's freaking crazy. You were saying about the work hours thing. You just reminded me. In Europe, they have, because I was wondering, like, when I was in Spain, like, we were there, we only left on, like, the Monday early evening. So, during the day on the Monday, we're, like, roaming around. We're doing, like, last bit of, buying souvenirs, whatever. We went to some cafe. So, you get to see the city on a Monday. Dude, it looks like people are on holiday. It doesn't look and feel like there's like work vibes and people at work.
Yeah.
Nah, you don't get that energy and the vibe. And I was like, if you're in Joburg, you'll feel it. You'll feel like, okay, cool. People are moving. People are, we call it the hustling thing. People are going to work or coming from work. No, it still feels like holiday. So I had a conversation with one of the ladies and she's just like, there is a thing where in certain countries, they give the options depending on the companies per se, but it's available where they give you a choice to choose how many days you want to work in a week, how many hours. And I'm like, what do you mean? And day or night, you can choose. So literally that app, the job description and the options come broken down like that.
Yeah.
And you can kind of set up your work life. And that allows, but what she said for them, it's the living part. Europe encourages to a certain degree, I guess, living, right? which is also tricky because then are the people making enough money to live?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why sometimes you'll see in France, hashtag France is burning type vibes, which is like contradictory to the whole chat.
But I mean, I guess no one's ever gonna find a system that works for everyone. It has to be like I don't even know if that's even possible. Can you find a system that literally benefits everyone? And there's probably ways to at least get it to be better, but not fine tune it to the degree that everyone benefits positively.
Yeah, I don't think you would because not everybody's equal.
Yep.
That's the biggest.
And that's the starting point. Like,
that's the starting
how long will it take? How many generations does it take to get there? Right?
Yeah. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's very bad.
Yeah. Mel Gibson is making a 4-part docu-series about the $34 billion industry of sex trafficking.
Mel Gibson, Braveheart.
Yes.
Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, yes. So this is...
Mel Gibson's very interesting.
But he's also... It's weird that you brought up the movies, but you didn't bring up the pack of niggas part. And that's what I was thinking about when I read. Here's the guy who spoke about... I forgot how... Please correct me in the comments. He addressed... I think he was confronting his wife or someone in his family, and then said, "Why are you with a pack of niggas or whatever?" Like,
no way.
Out of all the collective nouns,
was it like an audio or something that they?
It was a call. Yeah, I think it was a call.
Oh, hectic.
And he actually wasn't cancelled. Now that I don't know. Maybe he was. I don't know.
I missed that. Oh, maybe that's why he's been quiet for some time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, Passion of Christ money was good.
Yeah, it's very good.
So he can be cancelled.
The church has been making sure that revenue is good.
A pack of niggas, though, of all the collective nouns. What's wrong? A pride of niggas. We can be a pride of niggas. Like, have some decency
it's the fact that he's concerned about the English that was used.
Like, you better respect us.
And not the word itself.
And he's probably saying that he probably got cheated on.
Probably.
Someone...
yeah. It's like, these damn niggas.
And whatever porn he was consuming, it's in his head now.
And now he's doing a whole
sex trafficking docuseries.
I mean, he's probably gonna sell it to Netflix.
If we had his number, we should send him a message. This is how the tables turn.
He's probably gonna get on Netflix or like, what is it? Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. Yeah, he's probably gonna get a good deal. His productions are good though.
Let me ask you, how old were you when you watched Passion of the Christ, first one?
You mean which encounter did I go to?
Guys, that wasn't me.
Sorry, guys. I apologize.
If you were to watch it
I
now.
was probably in... I'm going to just guesstimate off the top, maybe grade 8.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like 13, maybe.
Do you think if you were to watch it now, it would have some emotional effect on you? With everything you know and like factoring your whole life now.
Yeah, probably. I mean, when the conversation comes up, I still think about it.
Yeah.
Like, but I think what's interesting about the conversation is like, that's the imagery I have when that conversation comes about like, Christ dying on the cross and like that whole process of what happened. Even when I read it in scripture, that's the imagery I have of that visual.
True.
Because
so it's burnt on our heads.
But also we watched it so many times.
Yeah.
That's also my thing about it.
So maybe the question should be asked to a stranger, and for those who are part of this conversation, I want to know. I mean, what Passion of Christ is over a decade old.
Yeah.
So
proper.
So you probably, I think most of us watched it in the hype of it, and I want to ask, if you were to watch it again now randomly, do you think you would, whatever feelings you had then, would it feel the same? Because I'm wondering now with all the questions we're asking, even as Africans, like, how did your mind process the way they're telling the story?
Yeah. But also, here's my thing. Did everybody watch it during the hype? Or did the church watch it? It's not the same things.
Oh, good question.
Because as the church, we were about it. We were all talking about it. We were advocating for it.
Yeah.
We put it in our programs, etc.
Yeah.
But did a regular person go watch it? Right? Even quote unquote a regular Christian, because it's about ABC, it's about the story.
Yeah.
I think that's like, let's start the question there.
Yeah.
Then go to the fact that if you watch it now, do you kind of see it the same?
Yeah.
Because I don't think so. I think in that world we were in, that's what it felt like. Everybody's consuming this visual, but I don't think people watched it like that. I'm actually I've never gone back to this question. I'm curious if a normal person has watched Passion of the Christ.
I get what you're saying. You're essentially saying the environment changed how we would view it if we were watching this in isolation at home or whatever. So it was curated, and despite the emotion, there's some strategy to how it affects your psyche.
100%. I think if you think back to how it's presented to us and all of that, those small things, like we watched it in scenes. We didn't even watch the whole thing. I haven't watched the whole thing. I have not watched the full movie from start to finish.
Yeah.
Right? I just know the process because that process got chopped up and that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe, actually, I would probably take some time and go watch the full thing. Another thing becomes production. I have a production brain now.
Yeah.
So that becomes
green screen that bad.
That becomes a bit of a factor as well. Like you throw in like production and things like that.
That's actor. If you want to cry properly. This is Jesus. You're gonna give us one tear for Jesus.
Give us one tear for Jesus. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to watch it again. It would. I've never thought of it like that. But what I do think is interesting is, has a normal person watched it, and what do they think of it?
Yeah. So here's the call to action. If you're white watching this, June 16th is coming. Please watch Sarafina. If you're black watching this,
stop with the Sarafina thing. That should be bad.
We know this. They don't. We have a common white friend. Actually, we should ask him.
Has he watched it?
You watching this episode? I know you're watching this episode. On 16th of June, you must watch Sarafina and then call one of us. We just want to hear your views.
Maybe we could do that as like part of that episode we'll talk about it. I think maybe we can do something. That's interesting. I get what you're saying though. Like let him watch it and like, what does that feedback look like?
I'm curious. I've never heard a white person speak about Sarafina.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do like maybe like an episode or something on that. Like the actual reactions from the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it mustn't be these Americans who were far from history. Aren't the Afrikaans the top breed, top tier?
That's it, top breed. Guys, the opinions of I can't even say that. It's too late now.
I'm sorry, but you know what I mean? The premium.
Yeah, like a person that grew up on the other side. I get it.
It's nice to understand.
So wild, actually.
And which brings me to this. Brings me to Clint Brink, the actor. Do you remember that?
Yes, Clint Brink.
There's a Twitter thread he put out.
Color guy from Backstage, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said the white entertainment world and the black entertainment world in SA, I'm paraphrasing here, are two worlds apart. The white people don't even know anybody. They don't know about Casper filling out stadiums. They don't know these people. And he's saying this because he was part of the black audience that was watching. I mean, he was the actor for a black audience that was watching his stuff backstage and whatever else.
Yes.
He moved to doing white entertainment. I think he's on some Afrikaans show. So when he's in these rooms and he's mentioning black names, they don't know these people.
They're like, what are you talking about?
It's a whole other world.
Damn.
And that's so interesting because we live in such a polarized opposites country. How is there no seed of curiosity? Just go, I want to know what that world is like.
But it comes back to what's similar to that is like with the music is the fact that, I mean, I don't know if we spoke about this the one time and I mentioned when I was at the Summers and I was sitting with Nick from 5FM. I forgot his surname. Nick Hammond. Thank you very much. I'm sitting with Nick Hammond and he's sitting with a friend of his and he's kind of introduced me to the friend. But the friend had won an award the night before the industry awards. This is at the Summers. So the night before he won an award. And he's introducing me. Then he asked me, do you know who this is? And I'm like, no, I don't, respectfully. Then he's like, this is interesting because we're sitting here and we're watching all the black entertainers get like so much attention. Because at that time we were doing the content. Getting all the attention, all the cameras are on them. But do you know that this man here just came back off a Euro tour? He's been touring Europe and he's come off back-to-back tours. I'm like, I don't know his name and I don't know his face. And that's kind of like in line with the same conversation. It's the fact that the Antwoord is like so huge in Europe type of thing, you know? And to the bigger conversation of that is the fact that we also stuck in this pool here in SA and whatever. And I'm like, there's a bigger pool where you can go exist somewhere and even if it's a little pocket, you exist in a major way.
Yeah.
Right? there's the singer Bongi Sizwe, who I always talk about. Like, he's on back-to-back Euro tours, bro. He just came off one now. And in a room, I know that more than half of the room doesn't know him. More than half of the room hasn't listened to his music. But, you know, he's a big deal like that. Or like he's got this pocket where he's killing it.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, that aspect. But for me, the literally the point of that all is like, this little room that you're in is not the be all and end all.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
even whether acting, whether singing, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I wonder what Hungane would say. We need to get him on the show.
Yeah. I spoke to him. He said he's coming through.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder though, and I could be wrong in thinking this. In my head, just because you're on one side of the world, surely you get curious.
About the other side?
Yeah. I mean, it can't. Life can definitely be comfortable, but even in your comfort, you're still curious. You get what I'm saying?
I don't think Americans are like that curious, dog.
Even like locally, let's just talk rich white, rich Africans, Cape Town. They living the life. Everything's good. Surely there should be some curiosity to know what's it like on the other side. Let me actually understand. Let me go spend a day in the street, just watching human behavior. And
I
little things
hear
like
that, and I'm like,
the opposite. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
because, like, historically we were all going to the city to find work and whatever else, so we already know what it's like then.
yeah, sort of, kinda.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is actually funny. It's the question. It's the answer to the question that an Uber driver asked me in Cape Town. He's like, "Why do Joburg people like going to Camps Bay so much?" Because like when I was there, I don't know which period it was, and then I needed to meet somebody and came to Joburg. Came to Camps Bay, and he asked that, and I was like, I think it's because we've seen Sandton, but Camps Bay is like the next level of Sandton type of thing. And it's that, like, we have this curiosity about what does it look like on the other side. The other side doesn't, if we're being honest. Because a lot of individuals on the other side, even when they speak on this side, quote unquote, they speak from ignorance. They speak from, like, you know, like they speak from theory, not from, I went and I know what it looks like. Right? Yeah, I think we have that curiosity. They don't. Maybe it's a comfort thing too.
Yeah, but
They're comfortable, dude.
like I feel like you're fighting against your humanity to not be curious.
I hear you, but it's like, for me, I'm like, I'm not sure. Like, they just not. Especially if you're comfortable, you're not curious. If you're comfortable sitting at home, you're not curious of what it looks like in Alex at 12 in the middle of the night.
Good point.
You're not. You know? You're like, you sitting there, you warm. You're not curious of what, like, the guys that are homeless in the middle of the street, or like, you know, homeless like in the road.
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like? Or you're not. You're just like kind of like in your comfort. I think that's why I mentioned that.
Yeah.
Comfort doesn't bring that curiosity. You know, it's the conversation of, is it greener on the other side? That's what brings curiosity. Like when you hear struggling or whatever, and then you just like, you keep going. Is it? Then that's where curiosity comes from.
I think that's how a lot of us entrepreneurs are seeing the world. Like, I just need one tender. And you don't know, that tender comes with problems. No, we all have that life. But there's problems on the other side.
Exactly, right? I was reading, you know, in terms of like, when we're talking about essay and like how it's structured and whatever, Lionel Messi just signed to MLS team. So he's going to America.
Is this quarter to retiring?
Yeah, apparently it's like, it's good for his legacy. I said no.
Isn't there where players go to retire?
Yeah, it is. There, and now the new one is Saudi Arabia, because that's where Cristiano is.
Okay.
Well, UAE. He's somewhere in the UAE. Sorry, correction. He's somewhere in the UAE. I'm not sure where exactly. But Messi's going to America, and it's apparently great for his legacy. And I'm like, no, what would have been great for his legacy if he's retired after? Like, he announced his retirement after he won the World Cup. Like while he's holding the trophy, he should have tweeted like, all right, guys, thank you, guys. I'm done. That's my time.
Making music now.
Jay-Z. Full of Jay-Z. That's my time, guys. All right, thank you very much. That's my 90 minutes. Like, that would have been his tweet.
But I guess, is that important for you guys? Like, when you quit is important. Does that matter for you?
Yeah, I think you got to...
Okay, maybe I should phrase it like this, and maybe answer this in the comments. What's more important, when you quit or how you quit?
That's a good question. I think when. I think the timing, because it's like you don't want to quit. Who's the boxer that quit when he then like he lost like 2-3 fights, so it looks bad now. Like you're leaving because you're unable to win anymore. I think it's Ali actually, which is the part we never talk about, which is fine because he is as great as we know him to be. But when I watched I think it's the movie or the documentary, he goes back and then he gets beaten. And then it's like, you're retiring on that leg? Damn. It's like Floyd, like he's picking it because he can't mess up that streak. So it's a win, you know?
Is that what's more important for you?
For me, it's win. Yeah.
I think for me, it's how.
Okay.
I don't know, because how can affect whatever future relationships or opportunities there are ahead. You can quit too early, but the door's still open. You can quit too late. You can still kind of look back or figure a way out. But if you quit in the worst way possible, that could be detrimental. And that's probably like for me.
Do you also think that they're synonymous, possibly? Now that
fair.
I'm thinking about it, like they kind of go hand in hand a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's like even if I go on my like win, but even then, how I do it still counts, whether I do it early or late. Like if Floyd at peak, right? Peak whatever, and said, okay guys, I'm out, but like gracefully, whatever the case is, etc. And then he doubled back and came back like a Jay-Z move.
Yeah.
I think they go together because when Jay-Z said, I'm retiring, it was a good time. He just did 4 albums or something like that?
Yeah.
That did extremely well. Classics. So that's the win. But how he did it, like, yo, I'm giving you guys the last album. Cool. Which is what you're saying. How you do it.
So
That's why I'm like this. I feel like they're synonymous.
do you think that would apply in every other relationship, like even in a dating relationship?
When and how?
Because imagine quitting a relationship when it's good. Good. Everyone's happy. Hey, yo,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I know there's nothing wrong. I'm just done.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be predicated on like
That would be
I'm just
hilarious.
done. It would be predicated on the fact that you're just in a different place or something like that. Like
Yeah.
everything is good. I'm just in a
You
different
know
place.
how screwed you'd be at that. Why did you break up with you?
No. Like,
Because it's good.
and it's wild. We've had the conversations. You might be watching this, but that's a real thing. Like, we're good, but I've picked up stuff on you that just don't land for me. Even though generally I think you're a good person. So we're good.
I don't think there's no way.
Because you see that the problem is we think things end on a negative. Things can end on a positive.
Ideally,
No, in real life, my brother.
it's not it's been good, right? It was good. I'm gonna go home. Great. We're gonna. It doesn't work like that.
Yes. Look. I'm not
It would
saying
be nice. If it did. Good.
Look, even when Muhammad Ali says, or even when Jay-Z says, I'm retiring, not everybody's happy, but there's a form of acceptance. Like, yo, I respect the fact that he's deciding to do this. I may not like it, but I respect it. I'm not tomorrow like burning his card, like, you can't retire. That's not there's that respectfulness. Because why? You said, yo, I've given you guys 4. I'm giving you 1 now. I'm out. So I think relationship-wise, it's just like calms. It's just that like guys don't do that. Guys do this weird thing, and I know the move that guys do. Guys do this thing where they just become shitty niggas, and then they become shitty niggas, and then they just like, she's just gonna pull the trigger. Or they do this with this wild thing which we learned as adults right now. Ghosting is not a real thing. As an adult, you can't be ghosting as an adult. You need to be speaking to people and be like, yo, you and I are not cool. Like, I thought, but I think we should. So that everybody is like, when you see the person in the mall, you don't be like, is this you?
Yeah, my lady's probably smiling right now. What you're saying, because that's her story. Apparently, I ghosted her for 6 months.
TK, you probably did.
I was getting my life in order.
Which is a good reason, bad way to handle.
Yeah, but look at where we are now, right? With all your hard work.
Shout out. So yeah, I do feel like for relationships, I don't know. What do you think? Like, do you think
I think you gotta run its course until it's done. But like, there's
until it's done, TK?
how and when. Yes, until it's done.
Ish.
Why would you get in something for it to end?
No, it's just that things do end.
Yes.
The possibility of end exists.
Yeah.
So we can be like, okay, I've been at this job for like, I'm good.
Mm.
You could have been running till the end in your previous job.
Okay.
Exactly.
Fair point.
Ladies and gentlemen, point.
I think I still say how. I get what
How?
you're saying in that you.
So even now in relationship, like
yeah.
yeah,
I think how
you. Well, do you feel like when is not a factor at all?
it shouldn't be.
Okay. So how plays a bigger role?
Yeah. And maybe I'm being a hypocrite in saying when doesn't play a factor because, I mean maybe I shouldn't go down this road.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, I shouldn't. Yeah,
Another episode.
that's another episode. Let's just stick with how.
Okay. No, I hear you. But back to Messi. He's getting a sweet deal though. He's getting a cut of the profits that they make from the season passes.
Oh, smart move. That's what
Yeah.
Beckham did, right?
Something like that. So Apple apparently handles that. There's a deal with Apple that they have with season passes. He gets a profit of that once he comes in. And then he gets a percentage from Adidas from profits made when he comes in from the T-shirts that they sell.
Wow. Okay.
Which is a fire-ass deal. I'll tell you that because when Ronaldo got into Juventus, this is very crazy, right? When Ronaldo got into Juventus, the amount they made from his jerseys was equivalent or almost near equivalent to how much they paid to get him. They made the money back from the jerseys.
Your issue was that he didn't retire soon enough.
Oh, Messi.
Yeah.
No. I think he should have left it at what is the last club? I think like PSG. Yeah. I think he should have just left it at PSG and not do the typical move. Because now his story is typical now. It ends the same way as everybody. Like Messi's story ends the same way as David Beckham's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's just my opinion, I
Yeah.
guess. But yeah. Oh, what else do I got? What's this Love Island thing? Like we got these weird shows. If there's one thing, like Netflix got weird shows, guys. Netflix, America exposed how much money it has by the weird shows that it has.
Yeah.
They have a show for everything.
Yeah.
They have a show for Love Island, Marriage Island, find a wife at the island, find your wife at the island with the ex-girlfriend and the brother and this.
Yeah.
Like they've got a show for everything. I saw that and I'm just like, are we still running this show?
We can put you in a tube and make money out of you.
Literally, right? And I'm like, but it's wild also because like, I was coming to that, like our shows and our setups, we've got this big gap where we don't even have. All we're doing is just like copying shows, which I think that's so Yo TV days. That's so Friends Like These. Like, I think at this stage we have ideas that we can come up with, but it's like, are we still running the same plays, guys? Yeah, that was so whack actually.
How do you?
And then we have Moja Love. That's what we have. Hate that channel, guys.
So what would you want to see more social experiment and game shows locally produced?
Yeah, because I'm just like, we have like cultural nuances that America doesn't have. Right? And Moja Love taps into that, but everything's negative, right? And there isn't a balance. Because like Love Island, some sort of a balance, I guess. You know?
Don't they only get pretty people?
They do.
So it's also already like that's like off.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, we have nuances that we can write on. Or create around,
Yeah.
you know? where it's like not just based on a copy and paste.
Mm.
Because that means like half of our TV is copy and paste.
What would you be curious about seeing? Like what experiment would you be keen on? Like, I want to see if I put people in this thing, how would they function? Whatever. What would that experiment be for you?
Crazy. I've never thought of that. I think about business stuff, TK, all the time, bro.
Yeah, you don't have a business social experiment.
I don't have like social experiments.
Like giving a restaurant owner to do something in entertainment.
Oh,
like swapping.
It's interesting.
Swapping functions.
I've never thought of that. Like maybe
someone who understands fashion, throw him into food retail.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to stop because now you're giving them all the ideas. You're doing that thing again.
Mark this date where you stole this.
You're doing that thing
and
again.
Call us for the meeting. We got the plan already.
But like, I mean, the common ones is like have a celebrity do ABC. The social experiments, the social experiments that are not about celebrities are the most interesting ones.
Yeah.
You know, there's a show that we like, or there's a channel. I just forgot the name. Where they do like these crazy like one-on-ones and like or group social experiments and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Those ones are like I find more interesting than like to have like a celebrity go be a waiter for the day and like capture that on camera. I mean, that would be interesting, yes, but like that's too easy and it's almost obvious that so and so is gonna struggle, so and so is gonna, you know what I'm saying? Because are you able to tap in back to the I'm trying to make it again thing in you, or are you still gonna be a superstar about the fact that I'm so and so the waiter? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there are other experiments that are like solid.
I will tell you, I'm watching the show, and I guess this we're gonna get to wrapping up. It's called The Open House Great Sex Experiment.
Okay, I haven't heard it.
It's
what channel?
BBC.
What's that on? BBC?
So British people.
Okay.
It's people going in with
I love British content, by the way.
Yeah.
I think it's solid.
Yeah. They go in as a couple and they explore their curiosity. So they bring in a professional therapist.
Okay.
And they try explore this, whatever thing they've been curious about in this healthy environment. So there's a whole lot of singles in this huge ass house. And let's say the guy says, I've been curious about how a threesome is like, or what a foursome is like, or watching my wife get banged by someone else. Like they say this their thing and they go try it out and then they come back to the therapist and report. And if it doesn't work, she remodels her test or whatever, says go try this out. Just to find, and they got to kind of find if this is something they really want to pursue or stick to monogamy. It's such an interesting experiment.
No, TK, no, guys.
Guys, I'm telling you,
it's not hobbies. You can't be do that with hobbies. Let's try reading. Let's try horse riding. Let's try hiking.
Can I share one? And if you're torrenting or whatever, listen, I'm gonna spoil it for you. There's a couple, right?
I don't think I'm gonna like this.
This couple says, well, the kink is the girl wants to have sex with other men, but I think she wants him to watch.
Okay.
So basically cuckolding, right? So they try the experiment out. the way he stood up.
Well, it was happening. He couldn't watch.
It's like, I'm uncomfortable. What did you think was gonna happen, sir? This is her kink, not yours.
Wait, are they like
they married?
They do whatever like.
Oh, you don't see like the full like act, but you can see there's sex happening right now.
Oh, hectic, bro.
That's it. I would also go
No, there's no ways, dude. There's no ways, bro.
Oh man. Okay,
no, I wouldn't. No. It like maybe let's try hobbies or something like that. We can't.
That's not gonna sound.
We have to try.
Let's go.
Maybe try extreme sports.
Last thing you want to share?
Okay. Apple dropped a new product. Have you checked it out?
I saw photos. I need to go watch Marcus Brownlee, the only black tech reviewer I watch.
Yeah, shout out to him. He's on point.
I'll go check what he's saying.
It's like VR, virtual reality goggles or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it brings the product to life in the room. So you could have like your screens or whatever the case is. So they integrate you into the iOS. Let me say that.
Why? What? We didn't need that.
I was thinking TK is gonna say, "Oh, that's brilliant."
And I love gadgets.
Exactly.
But we got a TV. The TV works fine.
So
Apple TV, guys.
so if you have your laptop open, I was thinking this like for us editing, right? You have the laptop open and you look at the screen.
Oh,
It pops up the Final Cut.
okay, yeah.
And you can, yeah.
I can
yeah,
see
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I see that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay. I think for that, yes.
Okay.
Then it says, then for things like it brings the image in 3D. Why? Image. I took the picture flat. It's fine. Everything's fine. Why?
I saw the price point is ridiculous. Okay.
It's over 60K.
Yeah, no. Nope.
We're gonna see the bruising conker wearing it like this to the side.
We have a friend in a certain country who will make a copy of that. All right, let's wrap this up, man.
Yeah.
Would you rather have photographic memory or an IQ of 200?
I think I can go far with the photographic memory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ish, but also IQ, maybe I can invent something and be gone.
Yeah. I'm thinking IQ.
Tricky.
I'm choosing IQ because
IQ.
it gives you the ability to calculate, project, do all that stuff.
Yeah. So
yeah.
in your own world.
The only
you create a
problem
world.
is you got no friends because you don't know how to do this.
Yeah, you can't speak. Yeah, you see.
And
Exactly.
that's where it sucks.
Photographic. Isn't
I'm
that
already
suits?
like that. Every time you take me to your group things, I'm
This
the guy who's like
This guy's
this.
talking like I take him all the damn time.
Yeah, he doesn't. But the times ago, he sees it's not working.
No, it's good that you must come out and play with other kids, TK. It's good. It's very good.
You know, I'm gonna ask him, hi, what church do you go to?
No, you're not.
Guys, it's been good.
Quite the opposite. What do you do? How can I help you? Actually, how can I make your thing better? Yeah,
That's good. Take us home, man.
Nah, shout out. I mean, it was a good week. Actually, what I do want to mention is I came across this tweet from somebody in the UK. There was a tweet before that was like, "Who's the best centre back of your favorite club historically," or something like that. And a guy who was a big Leeds supporter said Lucas Radebe is the best centre back in the history. I said, that's freaking amazing.
That sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to that. Shout out to Lucas Radebe, give him his flowers. He did the things. I think he's got a great history in football all around, going out and coming back. So shout out to him. Yeah. That's the week, boy. We had a few things. Actually felt a little bit like a quiet week where S is concerned. Maybe it's because we're dealing with winter now.
Heartbreak is on its way. Say bye.
All right, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you. We appreciate the support that you guys have shown us. This is episode 7, and it's dope that we've gotten this far, but we're going to keep going and try and make it better for you guys. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. Like it essentially for the algorithms. Comment just to engage with us. Comment on our social medias as well. You guys can hit us up and engage with us. And then subscribe, please, so that you guys can see what we have that's coming up. We have more stuff that's going to come up later. So you do want to subscribe. So yeah, shout out. Thank you very much for joining us. And this is Before Your Weekend, where we talk about the week before it ends. Shout out.